Hello and welcome to Baloney Technology and Entertainment News official podcast, or as it's officially named now, B10 official podcast. It's a much shorter abbreviation. I'm going to start off with some abnormal news for this show, I suppose, rather than the typical video game and tech news to begin with. I'm going to begin with some actual news for the podcast itself. I planned on having something prepared, but unfortunately I do not have anything prepared for what I'm going to say here. What I'm trying to get to is that within the next couple of episodes, I will be splitting off into two different podcasts. And while this may seem confusing currently, in the end, it will be for the best, because my audience for tech will not... Once this podcast actually grows some popularity, I hope that my audience for... Well, I don't hope this, but it's the way it's going to be. My audience for as far as gaming will be separate from the audience that is for technology and gadgets and such. So I have to kind of separate it out. So I'm going to be splitting off into a console gaming podcast, strictly console gaming. I don't know how often I'll be doing that podcast, but we will no longer be talking about console gaming on this podcast after that. It will be strictly technology and PC gaming, as well as tablet and smartphone gaming. And well, on the other show, which has yet to be named or decided upon what it even is at this point, it's going to be strictly console gaming. I've come up with a few names, but I'm not going to announce them yet. And if you have any ideas for what to title my upcoming console gaming podcast, and please let me know. Message me or comment, or however you're receiving this, just message me. There's ways to get to me without me giving you my email address, because I don't check that enough for it to even matter at this point. So yeah, that news, hopefully I'll have all the details next week, and we can start splitting it off from there. And next week will probably be my last B10 official podcast, where we'll actually discuss console gaming. Hopefully. That's what I hope. I don't know if you guys hope that. I don't know if you're disappointed or what, but this is my podcast, and I'm going to do what I want. It's not for the views, it's for me to vent and be satisfied with talking about various technologies, and I feel that it's best for console gaming to be a separate entity than PC gaming, technology, and mobile gaming. So yeah, it's just a little tidbit of information there. Now to real news. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag announced for the next-gen console release alongside current-gen platforms on October 29th, 2013. Let me know if you care, please, because honestly, at this point, Assassin's Creed is going to be milked to its limits, and it's bothering me because it was such a good IP at first, and now it's just gone south so quickly. And just Assassin's Creed 3 was not up to my expectations. It was boring. There was no Well, there were new gameplay mechanics, but there wasn't anything fresh. I want something fresh from Assassin's Creed. If I don't get anything fresh from the next Assassin's Creed, I don't want Assassin's Creed at all. And Assassin's Creed is becoming just like Call of Duty, and I want Ubisoft to prove me wrong at this point. But they're making it so hard for me at this point. I don't want another Assassin's Creed. It's just I don't want it unless it's something completely different, because within the first couple hours of playing Assassin's Creed 3 I was bored and I stopped playing altogether. And then months later I started playing PlayStation All-Stars, and I started playing Infamous, and I started playing a variety of other games, BioShock, as well as Devil May Cry. I think I finally finished Uncharted 2 around Christmas time. I'm not sure though. I can't remember. It was around that time. It took me a while to actually want to finish Uncharted 2, because I played them way out of order. I played Golden Abyss, then 3, then 1, then 2. And yeah, took me a while to want to finish Uncharted 2, but I loved it. It was great. It's way off topic though, because I'm talking about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It's interesting that they are bringing it out on both current gen consoles and next gen consoles. Interesting, not surprising. I'm. It'll be cool to see what next gen Assassin's Creed looks like. It'll be cool to see what it looks like, not cool to play it. I'm not really interested right now, but if there's nothing else out at launch for PlayStation 4, why not? I might come back to this topic later if I think of anything else I want to say about it. Beyond Two Souls' official release date has been confirmed for October 8th, 2013, at least in the US. I'm not sure about the worldwide release, but in the US it will be October 8th, 2013. And it's featuring the Juno actress Ellen Page and Spider-Man actor, oh god, I'm never going to be able to say this name right, but Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I should have prepared with his name pronunciation, but anyway, it's more interesting to have his name spelled wrong and pronounced wrong and trying to figure out how to say it correctly. Yeah, I think October 8th is a good date. It's something good coming out in October after just saying that Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is going to be October 29th. October 8th sounds like a good date. I'm interested in Beyond Two Souls, but I never got too far in Heavy Rain. I haven't finished it yet, so yeah. When I finish Heavy Rain, I'll get back to you about Beyond Two Souls and whether or not I'll be getting that. But it looks great. I love cinematics in games. I love the way games are becoming more and more emotional, and that's what really draws me to games now. Before I wasn't that interested in games besides like casual Nintendo playing before. But now that I've discovered how emotional games really can become, that's when I started actually diving into the industry and wanting to become part of something. I want to become part of this because it is a very emotional industry, and it immerses you more than a movie could ever dream of. And that's what I love about games, and that's what Beyond Two Souls should hopefully do for us. And I also hope that I heard on what was this PlayStation Conversation on IGN, Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty were talking about how they think that Sony should definitely market Beyond Two Souls based on the fact that they have two big shot actors in the game. And I think they should do that. I don't think they will. I don't think Sony, I just don't think they have it in them to market a game the way they potentially could. I don't think they will. And that's what really has hurt them in the past few years. So, yeah, if anyone from Sony ever listens to this, market Beyond Two Souls based on the actors, because having some famous names in there really can sell a game. And that's important for marketing wise, and that's important that's important critically and marketing wise for sales, and it's important in every aspect. If you think about it, if they're having two big shot actors in there, why even have two big names in there if you're not going to market it that way? Because I'm sure you could find someone equally as talented but with a lesser known name and still sell a game without marketing it just as well as you could selling Beyond Two Souls with two big names in there and not marketing it. Either way, you're not marketing it, so it doesn't matter either way. But if you have those two big names in there and you do market it correctly based on those names, then it could definitely be a hit. And I think it'll be a hit anyway. I think Heavy Rain was a hit, and I think that Beyond Two Souls could be a hit just based on its cinematics alone and its emotional standpoint, and the fact that it is like a movie, and the fact that it is something that stands out differently from other games. It's not generic shooter number 47. It isn't your Assassin's Creed. It isn't your Call of Duty. It is something that stands out completely on its own, and that's important in the industry. All right, now that I've ranted about that, I feel the need to pause for a second while I think about what I'm going to say next. Yeah. Next thing on my list, I have 4 AAA games releasing in March and how the industry is changing. Yeah, it's interesting. There may or may not be another game, because I feel like there's one more, maybe even 2 more games releasing this month, AAA games that I'm missing out on. That I'm trying to think. I feel like there's at least 5, but anyway, Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider releases on Tuesday. BioShock Infinite releases on March 26th. God of War Ascension releases this month. I think March 12th, but I'm not exactly sure, so don't hold me to that. What is the other game? Something else releases this month, and it's really important, and I can't forget it. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm about to find out. Don't hate me for this. Really. Don't hate me for not knowing. Hold on. Gears of War Judgment. Didn't know it because I don't have an Xbox, and it's not an important release to me. The other 3 are, no offense, guys, but that's just how it is. I'm more into PC and PS3 because PS3 has actual exclusives besides just Halo and Gears of War. I'm not a fanboy though. Don't take me the wrong way. I feel like Xbox is an alternative to PC, and that's fine with me. I have no problem with that, but I have a PC that can run these big AAA games. So why bother with Xbox? That's my theory. And if you do play Xbox and you like Xbox, then all the power to you. I'm not an elitist. I don't have a problem with Xbox. Speaking of elitism, I I'm really stuck on IGN. I like GameSpot, but the community at PCGamer.com, or I believe it's PCGamer.com, maybe it's .net.org, I don't know. But the community on PC Gamer is horrible. It is just, if you like PC gaming and you have actual respect for yourself, don't go on there, because that site is so elitist that it will drive you mad. If you like PC gaming, don't go on there, because you will hate PC gaming after that. You'll just hate yourself for liking it, because you'll feel like such an elitist. And I am no elitist, and I hate those things that people say on there, and it bothers me when people are like, well, at least it looks better than consoles, and then they're like, well, this game is too linear, and this game, they're so nitpicky at everything because the graphics aren't good enough for anyone at any time when it comes to PC gaming. And I think PC graphics look great. I think console graphics look great. I think console graphics should be in native 1080p, and that's why I play PC games, because I'm sitting up close to a monitor and it just doesn't look good with consoles. But yeah, that's my theory. I stick with it. I don't think we need to be elitist over here about anything. I think graphics are fine as they are. I think PS4 looks great. And I don't think we need to be complaining about graphics at this stage, when we could easily look back into the 80s, 90s, late 70s even, early 2000s, and see how much graphics have changed. I don't think visuals are even an object anymore. I don't think that's even something we need to worry about at this point. Okay. But I didn't even answer my own question there. That how the industry is changing with 4 AAA games releasing in March. Yeah, it's really interesting to see these huge releases in the middle of spring, or actually some I think are considered winter, but you know what I mean. When normally you'd see these type of high fidelity games releasing in the fall, and it's interesting to see these big AAA games releasing in a different time of the year that we're not quite used to. And it seems like games are starting to release over like an entire year span now. They're not limited to one time frame anymore. Either that, or that theory is completely wrong, and people are just developers are just trying to get everything out of the current consoles before the new ones come out, just so they can make a few bucks off these. Well, not necessarily make a few bucks. I don't want it to sound like they're just like crapping out stuff at the last minute, because they're not. They have these great games, and they're just trying to finish off strong on the current gen consoles, so the next gen consoles sell. Because if people look back and say, well, nothing even came out for PS3 in 2013, so nothing good has come out in the past year, why should we buy the PS4? And Why should we buy the next Xbox, or why should we buy Wii U? And I think most people are thinking that right now. Why should we buy Wii U? It's a joke. Take it lightly. Don't get angry. Wii U's great. It really is. I'd love to have a Wii U if there was a single game I was interested in on there. It'd be a great system. Just like Vita. I have a Vita, but there's nothing on there. I got a Vita at launch, and disappointingly, there's nothing. Well, there are more games than there are on Wii U, at least. There are more interesting games. There are actually some big, decent titles on there, like Gravity Rush, Little Big Planet Vita, PlayStation All Stars, Uncharted Golden Abyss, Wipeout 2048. I can't think of anything besides Nintendo Land and Mario U that I would even be interested in at this point on Wii U. And I'm not interested in Mario Wii U that much. And Nintendo Land is just okay looking, but it's not worth getting a system for. Not like Wii Sports was. And Wii Sports wasn't worth it either. No, I was an idiot for getting even Wii. For Wii Sports, at least. I was an idiot for getting Wii. Smash Brothers Brawl was awesome. Moving on. Sony's 4K movie service will be coming to PlayStation 4 with 100 gigabyte plus downloads. Ouch. Can someone say extensive hard drive space, because I feel like that would be an incredibly important aspect of the PlayStation 4 if they actually expect this to be successful, which I don't think they do. I think they're just preparing for the future, just like Sony always does. Like they included 3D capabilities in the PlayStation 3, even though 3D wasn't big yet. And 3D still isn't big, but at least they prepared for the future. That's one thing I like about Sony, is they prepared ahead of time, whereas Microsoft did not. And let's see where they got with that. I mean, they got pretty far, but their technology didn't plan ahead enough, I guess. Microsoft plans for the next year or so, but doesn't think about what could be replacing them within the next few years, specs wise. And that's important to be future proof. PlayStation 4 seems future proof, hopefully, unless PCs start getting really powerful in the next few years, just to like completely wipe out consoles altogether, or Steambox like completely throws all consoles in the dust, which I don't see happening at all. But it's possible. It's very possible. I think it's interesting to see a 4K movie service. It would take forever for the movies to download. Imagine having movie downloads bigger than game downloads. Just doesn't make any sense at all. I feel like they could compress these movies to make them smaller, and I feel like they would if they ever go through with this. But if you look at the price of 4K TVs now, I think the people buying the 4K TVs could afford as large of a hard drive as they need. They could probably buy the world's largest hard drive because they bought a $25,000 $25,000 TV. And I feel like if they had a $25,000 TV, that they wouldn't be playing PlayStation 4. They would be playing some crazy kind of PC games that no one else has at the moment because they're wealthy and completely loaded with money. So I don't think the people with the $25,000 TVs are going to be using PlayStation 4, but it's future-proof. 4K TVs could always go down in price, and they probably will, because so did HD TVs. HD TVs were really expensive. We have a 42-inch, I believe, 720p LG TV, 60 HZ, or 60 hertz, I believe. It was $1,400 at the time. You can get those for like, I don't even know if they'd sell a 720p TV right now, but you can get a 1080p version of a 42-inch for maybe $600. I don't know, 500, somewhere around there. It's low. It's not $1,400, and I feel like 4K TVs could do the same thing essentially. I don't know how much HD TVs started at, but they probably started somewhere around 25,000, I would think, as well, and made their way down to consumer level. All right. Ustream is not a PS4 exclusive app. Surprise, surprise. I don't really care. Ustream is already not a PS4 exclusive app because I have it right on my phone. I have it on the computer in front of me. I have it on tablet. I have it on everything else. I want Ustream on Vita. Why isn't Ustream on Vita? It doesn't make any sense. PS4 shouldn't even be focusing on the camera. Why does PS4 even have a camera? It doesn't even make sense. They're just ripping up Kinect, but Kinect is failure anyway. I think, if anything, Vita should finally get Ustream, and Vita should be an important part of PlayStation 4, which it seems to be, but I'm really unsure if Vita will become an essential piece to the PlayStation 4 puzzle. And if that were the case, I would rather see Ustream on Vita anyway. Maybe you can use Ustream on Vita through PlayStation 4 remote play, but I don't know. I'm thinking too far into this. I'm thinking back now to. Hold on, I'm gonna get some water. Hold on, just. Really thirsty. Okay. It's bringing me back to something I was thinking about earlier. A podcast I was listening to earlier this week. Talking about whether or not Vita will be packed in with a higher end model of the PlayStation 4. And I think it will be. I think there will be a Vita bundle for PlayStation 4, if not at launch, shortly after launch or early next year. I think at some point they'll start having to pack it in because it doesn't seem like Vita's going anywhere, and it doesn't seem there's any more of a plan for Vita than to just use it as a remote play device for PlayStation 4, which I'm perfectly fine with. I just think they would have to bundle it in at that point. And we've seen this $419, $519 price range for different models of PlayStation 4, but we don't know what each one means, and we don't know if they're real or not. But let's say they are. In a hypothetical situation, let's say these $419, $519 price ranges are real for PlayStation 4. Could you see a Vita bundle with PlayStation 4 being that $519 bundle? I mean, Sony is already selling PlayStation consoles at a loss. I don't see why selling PlayStation consoles with a Vita at a loss would be any more of a problem than it already is. So they could essentially sell a Vita, PlayStation 4 combo package bundle deal for $5.19 ish, and there you go, and start selling software, and maybe even developers would jump on the Vita bandwagon, and that could get some actual Vita sales separately from PlayStation 4. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do with this? But anyway, I'm going to start wrapping up soon. So I'm going to move on to my last topic. Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will release in June 2014. The only reason I included this as a topic is so I could let everyone know to not see this movie. It is going to be terrible. Look into it. Google it. Please Google it. Because you'll laugh your face off when you find out what the actual concepts for this movie are. It's going to be terrible, just like Transformers. If you want to see a decent TMNT adaptation, watch the Saturday morning cartoon that Cartoon Network airs now. I'm not sure if it's on a hiatus or what is actually going on with it currently, but definitely check out the show, because that's a great it's a great TV series. It's reviewing better than nearly every show I see week after week on various review sites. So it's doing pretty well, and it's way better than any of this crap Michael Bay's gonna like spew out of his eye lobes at some point, because he's a terrible director. And if you want to see some examples of his work, of his so-called work, then check out Transformers. All of them, they're all bad, especially the second and third. Oh, they're just so bad. I just can't imagine what horrible things he's gonna do to the four turtles, and I don't even think they'll like pizza, because they'll be aliens, and aliens don't know what pizza are. Aliens don't know what pizza is. R is. Pizza is. Yeah, aliens. Aliens.